What's up, guys? It's Mike with the guns, and today we're going to be switching out the furniture on my WASR-10 AK-47. I mentioned a short time ago, maybe a couple of weeks ago, that I wanted to change the furniture on this WASR, put on some wood furniture, and I've been putting it off for a couple of weeks because it's something I've never done before, but today is the day. This is from Palmetto State Armory. I didn't mention before, I just popped this open because I looked at it a minute ago. This is from Palmetto State Armory. I didn't want to spend too much time looking around at furniture until I got to know the process a little bit. So I went and ordered some stuff from Palmetto. It's some redwood furniture. It should fit any AKM. Looks pretty good though, I like it. I'll be happy to have it on here. Right now I'm pretty happy because in my mind, at the end of this video, or at the end of today, whatever, I'm gonna have some nice redwood furniture on my AK. But I'm guessing towards the end of the video, I'm not gonna be so happy because I've never done this before. I'm really new to the gun world in general, just the past couple of years. But I've never changed the furniture on an AK. And today, that's what we're gonna be doing. So I'm gonna run into difficulties. I already know I will. I'm gonna be stopping the camera during those difficulties to see how to do this, see how to do that, but I'll show you guys as much as I can. And this is the first time I've ever done this. So let's get it done. This WASR is ugly as is, so I really wanna get the polymer furniture off. I wanted to take it off before shooting it too, because I've seen this V2 WASR, on other people's YouTube videos, the furniture can start to melt and kind of like seep into other areas and become a lot more difficult to remove. So I just wanted to get it off before shooting the damn thing. I don't like how it is anyway. So let's get it done. Mag's off. Gun's empty. I'll leave the hammer down because I'm gonna need it down anyway to get the bolt out. And let's go. We got our dust cover off. We got our spring out. And the hammer's down. You're gonna need the hammer down, but mine's already down because I cocked it just a minute ago. But you're gonna need it down to get this out. You know, take the bolt out, the entire bolt carrier. And now we're in. So once I took the dust cover off and took the spring out, I got access to these two screws right here, which I did already take the screws out a few minutes ago because I knew that was gonna be kind of difficult to get the rear stock off. So that's what prompted me to start the video, because I was having a little difficulty getting it off, and I think I found a way to get it off. So these are the two screws over here. I've seen in the older model AKs, it could be a flathead. Mine was a Phillips in the WASR-10 V2 that I have. So this was merged up pretty tight. There wasn't really a gap over here. A lot of times in the wood stocks, you see a gap, like is normal. I've seen in a lot of other videos. There wasn't really a gap. It was pretty tight. And I was worried this thing was gonna be tough to get off. And it is, it's tough to get off. It wasn't budging at all though. I took those two screws out. This thing was not budging at all. I was pulling it, yanking it. I've seen people on other videos try to pry it out with a screwdriver, wedge it in there and hit it with a hammer or a punch, whatever. I mean, if I have to do that, I will, but I don't think I have to do that. I came across one guy, I don't know how long ago, if it was a forum I was reading or a YouTube video I was watching, somebody I heard say that it was helpful for them to take the rifle. He mentioned, whoever it was that I was reading or watching, he mentioned taking the rifle outside to a soft area like a grass patch and just banging the back of the stock on the ground until it loosened up a little bit. I mean, it sounded like a good idea, honestly, but it's a little messier than I thought. So in my frustration just a few minutes ago, I thought of that since I couldn't get it to budge. And I'm not gonna take my brand new rifle outside and get it all dirty. Not that it should matter anyway, but I'm not ready for all that yet. I haven't even shot this thing yet. I'm not trying to slam it around in the dirt outside. So I was like, well, what's the difference if I slam it out in the grass or just slam it on my carpet right here, which is like nice, clean, same soft type texture. So that's what I did. I just grabbed the thing like this and I just started banging it like this. And the thing started coming off a little bit. So I had to rotate it. First, it took a couple of bangs, and then I noticed like it would come off just slightly. So I banged it like that. Then I rotated this way, bang it this way too. And it's starting to come off. It's still on there tight, but I'm gonna keep banging it a little bit because that's really what it was taking. Rotate it, bang it again, rotate it, bang it again. Yeah, it's coming right off. I mean, I got like a centimeter. I got a centimeter off right there. Now, this is the only part that I've gotten around to so far. I didn't get around to changing the handguard or the gas tube cover or anything yet. I'm sure I'm gonna run into difficulties with that. But when I saw how helpful it was just to bang the back of this thing on the carpeting. Now, I have concrete subfloors, so I'm not worried about like cracking the concrete or anything. I don't know what kind of subfloors you might have underneath your floors, but concrete under the carpeting and padding, I felt pretty good about it. It's getting the thing off and good. Because I don't want to be in too bad of a mood at the end of this day, at the end of the video, whatever it is. So I'm glad that it's coming off as planned, really, because I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I was going to say almost as planned, but it's really coming off as planned. I knew it wasn't going to be an easy thing, especially since I've never done it before. Let me see if I can wedge it at all right now. Still not really budging by hand, so I'm going to keep giving it some bangs. Again, I'm going to bang right here, you know, this corner over here on the carpeting. Then I'm going to rotate it again, give it a couple more bangs on the other side. And, you know, like not really a sharp side, but you know, the smaller edge. That's how I'm banging it. So let's do it. Yeah, it's coming right off. Boom. I see the gap right there now. Look at that. So that is coming off. There we are. Rear stock is off. Not damaged the slightest bit either. Not where I was banging it. It's not muddy. It's not dirty or grassy. My carpet is not messed up. So that was the way to get this thing off right here. And if you ever wanted to reuse this ugly stock for some reason, it's not damaged. So there you go. All right. That feels pretty good that I got that done so far. I'm probably going to have to pause the video in a second because I was already playing around with this thing and there are no screw holes in it over here. So it's gonna have to be fitted and adjusted, whatever. I'm gonna see how it fits on right now. I didn't get this far yet, so we'll see how it fits on right now. Then I'm gonna have to stop the video and probably grab my drill and drill some screw holes and do all that shit. But let's see how this goes right now. You know what, it's not sliding in really easy. So it's gonna require some fitment, maybe some filing. So that's something I'm not gonna do on camera. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video. And when I get to another point that you guys need to see, I'll start it up again. See you soon. All right, guys, I'm back. And it's going just as easily as I thought it would, which is not easily at all, honestly. I've got a few more tools on the counter here, which I should have had out to begin with, but I have never done this before, so I didn't know what I was gonna run into. I had to take a break for a little while. As you see through that window over there, it's now dark outside. It was light outside before, so it's been a little while. I don't even know how long. I fucked up my finger pretty bad, honestly. I got a Band-Aid on here now. That's why I had to take a little break. I was pretty pissed off. So let me just tell you how everything's going. The good news is, I thought this was going to require some filing and fitting. It actually didn't. I didn't want to force it too hard on camera before, but as soon as I turned the camera off, this thing slid right on, nice and easy. With the exception of, well, not even an exception, just it slid on nice and easy. Let me just get it on there, hold on. It's lined up, it's in the slot, and then it just slides right there. All the way in, nice and flush. And I was saying before, with the exception of, which is not even a problem, the wax finish gets scratched off a little bit. So you just have a little dust, which rubs right off. So it really fits perfect, nice and flush. That went great. I didn't drill the holes yet because I'm not done putting everything together. I've got a power drill there and some drill bits, which you'll need to drill your holes before you put your screws in. So let me cover how I got some of the other tools out on the countertop, which I should have had to begin with, because once this back stock went in nice and easy, I started moving over to the gas tube cover. And that's where I messed up. So I was playing around with this thing. Let me just show you. This little lever right here, you need to switch that up all the way to a vertical position, and then the gas tube and the gas tube cover, everything comes right off, slides off nice and easy. Now I say nice and easy like if you get that thing sliding straight up. This is a brand new gun, which a lot of you guys probably are working with a brand new gun. Even if it's not, you probably never took the gas tube cover off or anything. So this piece, what I'm getting around to, was on there really tight. It would not budge. I was pulling it with my finger, and my finger was really starting to hurt. So I don't know if you guys know, like, I'm really smart. So I grabbed this screwdriver, and I'm like, well, before I fuck up my finger, let me use something else to kind of mess around with it so I'm not putting all the pressure on my finger. You know, like I said, I'm really smart. So I wasn't gonna fuck up my finger. So I grabbed this screwdriver right here, which is not the only tool that I have, not the only tool anybody has. It's just, I don't know why I just think of a screwdriver, like this is not, but whatever. I was using the back of the screwdriver to pull on that lever. It still wasn't budging. So then I pulled it down here, repositioned the screwdriver like this, and then I'm pulling on that lever on the ground, and then it slips. My finger got fucked up pretty bad, honestly. Like, it cut pretty deep on that lever. That's when I had to take a break, because I was like, man, this is a mess over here right now. But I wasn't done, still not done, still going. We're getting this thing done today. So I was looking at my other tools, and all I needed was my little punch set right here. Grabbed a punch, lined it up, gave it a few taps, and then it came out. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm not as smart as I thought I was. It took me fucking up my finger, so don't fuck up your finger, please. Just, yeah, don't. So a few taps. It's got a dimple that's in the recessed area right there, so I wasn't able to get it to budge with anything before except for this hammer and punch. So a few more taps and it'll come out of that channel there. I did it a few minutes ago, so I know it will. All right, there we go. It's out of the channel. So now it's going to be easier to tap it. Okay. I've got clearance from that. Now I can move it up. You see how it kind of has that little dimple right there where that clicks into? So that's where it's really tough to get it out of. So the hammer and punch helps it get it out of that dimpled area, and then it just slides up and down freely. So you want it to be vertical like that. and then this will slide right out. Nice and easy. So I didn't get much further than that yet. I was playing around with getting the gas tube cover off, which is like a twist on, twist off thing. It doesn't come off easy. It's just as tough as everybody shows. So I was grabbing it with one hand over here, trying to twist it. It twists a little bit. One guy was saying if it doesn't twist one direction, twist it the other direction and keep going back and forth until you kind of find its path. He was right, because when I was trying to get it back on too, that was working for me. It's good to have something to squeeze so you don't fuck up your whole hand like I fucked up my finger. And then you can twist it. So you give it a 180 twist, and you could tell by looking at it like how it's lined up. Once it's twisted like a full 180, if you look at this section, it's squared off, so you can make sure it's, yeah, it just clicked, I heard it. Once it's lined up like exactly 180, it'll come off nice and easy. See, it's sliding down there now. Wish I didn't fuck up my finger there, but that happened. Told you how that happened, so don't let it happen to you. All right, this is sliding off nice now because it's rotated halfway around 180. I haven't even taken the gas tube cover out of the Palmetto State Armory box yet, but I just want to take everything out and be careful with the positioning that I'm doing everything, because like I said a few times, I've never done this before, and I really don't want it to be any more difficult than it already has been. So I'm just looking at how everything comes out and putting it back the same way. So let's get this out of the box here. This is our gas tube cover from Palmetto. Position it the same way as this ugly ass gas tube cover that we got with the WASR-10 Put that over there. Wherever the hell I put it, right there, whatever, it doesn't matter. Alrighty. I don't know if this is, I didn't try to do this at all before, so just watch me. I do kind of do things in slow motion, so if you don't want to watch my slow motion, you can fast forward. But this is my first time looking at this thing, so just give me a moment to play around with it. You know what? I think while I take the moment to play around with it, I'm gonna turn the camera off again, and we'll see what the next step is after that. See you soon. All right, I shouldn't even stop the camera that time, because I think it was the same type of issue that I was having just before, that it was brand new and it's got the extra wax coating or whatever protectant on it. So it was just a little tight, but it doesn't require any filing or anything. I was able to get it on partially, and before I started twisting it around, I started up the camera again, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm taking my time because I don't want to crack the wood or anything. Making sure everything is lined up properly. Okay, so it's lined up properly that way. Let me make sure that everything is even on both ends. Okay, it's in the channels there. See, I was dealing with plastic before, so I could be a little bit rougher with the plastic than I want to be with the wood. Since it's hollow wood, I don't want to crack it. I've seen examples of that. I might be another one of those examples of cracking the gas tube cover. I hope not. Seems to be going in though. You want to be careful with everything. I mean, it's expected to be tight the first time you put it on or take it off. It's expected to be tight. I'm making sure it's as flush as possible, but not putting too much pressure because I don't want to crack it. So it looks like that's about as far seated as it will go. So I'm going to grip it here. I don't want to twist it too hard until I see it's got some movement, because I really don't want to damage it. It does look like it's twisting. And again, I heard somebody say, if it's not twisting one direction, try it the other direction and kind of keep going slowly back and forth if you have to until you find its path. One direction seems to be going a little bit better for me, but I remember somebody also saying that he got it one direction most of the way and then it wouldn't budge, so then he started going the other direction. So that's what I'm going to try now. It's really taking some time, but that's okay with me as long as I don't crack the wood or mess up my hand anymore. So taking time is okay. I don't know if this is how hard it's supposed to be or if just because I don't know what I'm doing, but it's pretty tough. That rear stock went on pretty easy, but this is not going on easy. The rear stock didn't come off easy. Now this hand is, I might need another rag or something. Let's give it a little more pressure, see if it's still budging. I don't know how much I really want to wrestle with this on camera. I really don't want to wrestle with it at all, but I've got to get it done. So I think the most efficient way to get it done would be to turn the camera off for a moment until I get that on. And then we'll get to the next step. All right, thanks for bearing with me. I'm gonna get it done. See you in a minute. Okay, that was definitely the hardest part so far. I got it done though. It took some grunts and groans and some stupid faces, honestly. Holding the thing, gripping it like this, and you know, a lot of that for 5 or 7 minutes or something, and enough grunts and groans, and it went on without cracking, thankfully. Looks pretty good. I am happy with how it's going so far. Didn't go perfectly so far, but it's getting done, like I said it would. So that's on there. Now we're gonna get to the last part. Not really the last part, because the grip would be the last part I would do, but I'm probably not gonna do the grip right now. That's just an easy bolt in the bottom. I'm not gonna do that right now because I don't even know if I wanna change the grip. The kit from Palmetto comes with a wood grip. I don't know if I like it. It doesn't have any texture to it at all. It's just completely smooth. I don't know if I like it. I mean, it looks cool, but I don't want to change the grip yet. I want to change all the other furniture before anything. So this should be the easiest part after going through all that other shit, especially with the gas tube cover. That shit was tough, really. But it got done. So this part here, to get the bottom handguard off, there's a very small lever right there in front of my index finger. Let's see if I could flip it up. Yeah, it's up now. See, it's pointing upward. So that actually needs to point forward. You need to keep moving it forward to right about there. Then this slides forward. And then your handguard comes off. Now, the polymer doesn't slide out easy. So when I was playing around with it before, just a second ago, I pulled this down over here a little bit and then kind of rocked it back and forth, up and down, until it came off, and you see the space is widening now. Just rock it up and down until it comes off. It comes off pretty easy. Okay, now I've got clearance there, so I'm just gonna rotate it downward and just take it off. I'll get it a little further out. This part didn't require any grunts and groans. So that's why I'm just, when I was playing around with it a second ago, it went fairly smoothly. So I started up the camera and we'll get this one done now too. We'll put this aside. We're not gonna be needing that ever again, I don't think. We'll get this out. Now this fit pretty good. The only thing I did, I had to, you saw when I was kind of wedging it back and forth to remove it, the plastic handguard. To get this one on, I had to do something similar. I had to wedge it back and forth just because of that like protective coating they have over it. Gives it slightly little extra thickness that makes it a little bit too tight. So you can see it didn't even, just in the notch where it slides in there, it didn't even scratch too much of it off. None of the wood, just that protective coating. So that's all that I did before, is I was wedging it back and forth just to see that it fits. It did fit, took a little rocking back and forth, but it went in. So let's go ahead and get that on now. See, it lines up in there, but it doesn't slide in easily. This countertop is pretty tall, so let me bring it over here for a second. Get it lined up. So I was getting the corners in because that goes in a little bit easier, and then I can rock it and wedge it a little bit. I was hoping it was going to go on a little bit easier, but it'll go on. I had it on just a minute ago. I might have to get down on the floor here for a second, give it a couple of taps like I did before. Sorry that I'm off camera here now. Here, let me move back just in case you guys want to see what I'm doing. I'm really just giving myself a little space to work because I can't do it on the counter. I'm just wedging this bottom section in here. I really should have better tools for this. A rubber mallet might be a good idea, but I don't really need it because I had it a second ago. Okay, I've got it lined up in there now. Yeah, now it's slid in there nice. Just from the angle I was working with, it was easier for me to get down there and just pull it down. But I've got it in there nice now. It's pretty flush right there. A little wax residue from that protective coating powdered up at the end, but that wipes right off with your finger, that little wax residue, if you guys end up with the same kit from Palmetto State Armory or something similar. So yeah, it's on. Let me make sure it's tight before I go ahead and set that other piece. Looks tight. Let's get that piece lined up over here now. That's flush. You can see that piece is flush there now. The wood is wedged in there tightly. We're gonna go ahead and move that lever back. Will it go back? Am I tight enough? Maybe I'm not tight enough. Because it does have a little channel that it's supposed to rest in. So I'm guessing it has to be in the exact space in order for it to go back. I don't know why it's not going easily. I think I closed the lever when I was playing with it before. I think I got that far. But we're close, so let's see. Let me get down here and give it a couple of taps down here. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It's tight on all ends. I'm gonna have to turn off the camera for a minute till I figure out what's going on here. And then we'll finish this up and put it back. Okay, I think I've got it figured out now. I had it wedged together a little bit too tight, or exactly the way that I thought it should have been, honestly. So once I loosened it up a little bit, then that lever went from fully forward and rotated all the way around. So it was a matter of wiggling this front piece here until the wood was wedged in just the proper amount, I guess. So let's go ahead and put that lever down. I don't know if that's a fitting issue with the Palmetto State Armory stuff. I feel like it should have been a closer fit than that. I don't know. I won't know until I'm using it if it wiggles. I really can't tell as of now. But I feel like that should have went in. It should have closed while it was wedged in tighter. But it's in now, and the thing is flush. It looks a hell of a lot better than it did before when I had the black polymer furniture on it. Let's get our gas tube cover over here, which was the hardest part to get on. Let's get everything lined up. Oh, this has to be raised upward. So that lever that lets it on and off, that has to be raised straight upward in order for this to even go on. My first time doing it, so it's something that you might run into also, but I should have known. But a lot of people watching these videos, it's your first time doing something like this, so yeah, this has to be pointing straight upward in order for this to go on. And now it's on. So let's get that lever down. As we went through when we were taking it off, we know it's a pain in the ass to get onto that dimple there. So I'm not even gonna fuck around with it like that since I still have the hammer and punch over here. I'm just gonna get that hammer and punch back over here and give that a couple of taps until it's back on. Now, you know what? I could probably tap it with the nylon, the plastic end. Yeah. It's in. It's locked into the dimple now. Right in there. So, I still didn't put the screws back here yet. I'm gonna do that in a few minutes because I have to drill the holes, and that's something, I mean, you drill 2 tiny little pilot holes and get your screws in. You don't need to see that. You know how to do that. So I'll do that on my own in a few minutes. But we've got the rifle pretty much fully assembled. Let's get all this other shit in. Put this aside. Put this aside. All right. Our bolt, the whole bolt carrier group. Something someone pointed out in a video before, because it's my first time doing this, this bolt wiggles around in here. You need to make sure it's in the forward position for it to be lined up properly in order for the bolt to sit on the rails within the receiver. So you're gonna wanna hold that forward as you're doing it. Let's slide this all the way up. All right, now once you get lined up where the bolt, or once you get up to the point where the bolt is lining up with the rails, there, it's gonna be popped up just a little bit higher than it needs to be to go into the rails. So you're gonna have to push it down like that, how it goes up and down a little. So you're gonna have to look at that bolt, push it down that tiny little fraction, and then glide it forward into the track as you're looking into the receiver. Now, once it's in the track, it's holding itself down there. Then you can just slide it forward and it's in. So now, let's get our spring. Spring slides in easy enough. You just have to compress it. Let me just show you first. You just have to compress it until the little grooves go into that track right here. That little track in there. And that's what retains it in there. So slide your spring up. Push it forward that extra 3/4 of an inch or whatever it needs. Then let it rest down just into that track and let it go back. Now it's retained in there within the track. It's not going to go back any further because it's stopped by the back of the receiver. If you're not an idiot like me, screwing around with it more than you should. All right, get it back in the fucking track. All right, back in the track like it already was. So now the gun is put back together, but as you just saw, the importance of having the dust cover so some idiot like me doesn't come along and fuck with it. Let's get the dust cover back on. Dust cover will line up into some little grooves. You look at your rifle if you know, but there's a little channel up there, very narrow grooves that the dust cover slides into. You've got to slide it in there, and you've got to put forward pressure on it as you're pushing down over here, because if you don't, it's just going to slide right over that back button and it won't line up. So it'll just fall out of the track. So you have to push forward pressure on it at the same time while you're pushing downward in the back, and then you're going to hear it click. That button is going to click into place. Remember, you got to push forward at the same time. All right, it's in. Now just get the mag on to give it that fully finished look. Voila. How does it look? I think it looks pretty good. That's right about how I want it. Everything is put together. Not bad, guys. Not bad. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.